We are live. Hey, everybody. Hey, happy Tuesday. We are back after a bit of a hiatus. We did have one. We are back here for the Meta-Two NXT AfterShow talking about WWE's NXT Roadblock. I am one of your hosts, Katrina, host and creator of Cat We Trust, and I am here with my twin, Shay. How are you today?
I'm here, and I just watched a really fun episode of NXT. So, how are you?
I'm well. I'm tired. To be fair, it's been a weird couple weeks. Been very busy and weird and all that, but NXT did what NXT is supposed to do, and so yes, to those things. But also happy to be back with you. I really can't picture doing the show with anybody else, and so sorry, random people that I don't know, just saying. I just can't really do that with other people. But let's get into it. Um, so again, this is NXT Roadblock, which is like, you know, we are about a month and a week, I guess, away from WrestleMania, and they have their Stand and Deliver as well, which is like their version of like their WrestleMania, I guess. And so we had to, I guess, build towards what's coming up, but solid. And so Joe Gacy versus Dijak, in what was like, I guess, an asylum type match, if that's the way you want to call it. Hey, um, but this was some solid stuff, and so um, why I'm not particularly a fan of Dijak, because he always messes with my people, and Joe Gacy I'm kind of in the middle on. I thought, with this regard to Dijak, that he used whatever he needed to in this match, which I thought was like pretty uh good on regards to this being like an asylum cage match. And so he basically used everything he could use uh in it, brutalizing Joe Gacy. And while I will say I do think that he had maybe better matches in NXT, and even I think his other match with Joe Gacy might have even been a tad better. With that being said, I do think he really put himself into it. Um, this was more of a, I can't. This was definitely obviously not like a technical masterpiece or any of that stuff. I don't think it was supposed to be. It was more so just something different with this whole unique way of having a cage match. And I thought, this was a good way to do it. Um, he did like a moonsault off top of the cage. And you know, even to the part, as was mentioned in the comments, where he put Joe in like a straight jacket and then wrapped it with duct tape, you know, and I was like, all right, I like the vibe. I like where we're going with this type of, like, where they went with this. So, and obviously the crowd was with it too. They was like, this is awesome, this is crazy, that was happening. But Dijak would win, you know, and win this match. And I guess personally, if you're gonna try to really push him now, because I feel like you have like a little push and then they kind of not have one, but then he has one again, and then they kind of not. If they really want to take the momentum from this probably be the perfect time to do so. But otherwise, definitely a solid open. I thought, I was like, okay, I have to suck it in, but then okay, Dijak could give you that, or whatever. But it was definitely a really good way to open up NXT Stand and Deliver. What were your thoughts on this matchup?
Oh my god, I loved it. It was such madness. I really do love madness. when it comes to matches. Like Madness is just so much fun. Dijak has been so consistent. He's probably been one of the most I'd say top 5 most consistent on NXT. And so I really would like to see him get a bit of a push. Like as you said, it was kind of like a start stop thing with him, but he's been consistently getting wins. Even over I didn't think he would be going over in the Eddie Thorpe and him thing, and he did, but then nothing really came from it. But now he's getting past this. Hopefully, we're done with the Dijak Joe Gacy saga. It's been 10 million matches at this point, or it feels like it, and half of them weren't even in the ring. So I'm ready for something new for Dijak. I think he's been so consistent. The kind of basically like a swanton off the top rope in the straitjacket. Joe Gacy, that was fantastic. You're fantastic. I love that. I'm sorry. You have to have no fear to do that. Because for me, I feel like you need your arms. Ugh, one of these, like how Jeff Hardy does. Ugh, you need your arms. Him doing no arms, just no. You're a daredevil, Joe Gacy. You scare me. And I absolutely love his entrance. The upside down thing. I don't know, something about it. It just fits. It's so right for Joe Gacy. And I hope that he finally figures out I want to know where is the end of this rainbow, because he's gone through several different personalities, characters. I'm trying to see what's at the end of this rainbow. Is it a pot of gold? I hope so.
Yeah. I was looking at comments. No, I got to give him his credit, and yeah, which is very hard for Girly to say. Really hard for Girly to say, but I will definitely, and I did as well. To that, I did. Yeah, I think this is probably again the perfect time to do so. To really just put behind if you're gonna do it now. It feels like if you're not gonna jump on it, and this time, then what is the purpose? Gotta get it together. Gotta get it together if you're gonna really put it in. Like they're supposed to. So we'll see. But otherwise, I thought this was a really good way. Again, there was also a segment later on that was backstage, where Josh Briggs warned Brooks about challenging Oba Femi, and then Dijak called Brooks a dead man walking. And I was like, see, but this is my problem with you, Dijak, because you can mind yours. It's one of those situations sometimes you be like, I don't gotta say nothing. It's fine. I don't gotta say nothing. And sometimes it's okay, just be quiet. Breathe it in, And so I was like, oh, all right. I guess if you want to yappy and say these type of things instead of just minding yours, Dijak. But this now leads us to our next matchup, which was the NXT Tag Team Championship match between the Wolf Dogs and Chase U. And so Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker came out in plastic wolf mask. And it was some little moving pieces, and so there was some segments, I guess, before I get into the match, with Fallon trying to clear up the issues between Riley and Thea, and then Blair kind of interrupted, which was set up a match later. And I say this because Riley and Thea and JC and Jasmine was watching at ringside during this matchup, and so Andre Trace, he tried, he did, he tried really hard, but with Braun and Baron, I guess it just kind of felt like all of this was kind of for him, for Mel. They did all that, and it was just like, yeah, all right, you tried, my guy. I again am not particularly a fan of Baron Corbin. I don't think I ever will be, but I can admit that in regards to how he works with, I will get to that in a second, how he works with Braun Breaker, it does seems to work. And you are right. I do not know why Josh is all of a sudden concerned. As if it, I agree with you there. I don't know why he's concerned like it wasn't on him. It definitely is. It definitely is. But people like to be fake in the streets. And so again, they Andre tried, but then Duke kind of got wiped out outside of the ring also. And so once that happened, Baron did his end of days, Braun did his spare, and they would continue to be the tag team champions for NXT. And again, I'm not a Baron fan, never will be, but I do think he works well with Braun. I do not, and it's weird because like Chase U, I felt like it was a bit of a fun match, but also not really a great pairing for necessarily for Chase U. I felt like this was probably not the team for the go against. And it was also just because, even there was a moment Andre did send Braun to the floor with Duke, and then Braun hit Duke with the clothesline onto the announce table, which was pretty uh, you know, cool. And then JC also called Chase U losers, and this caused Thea to storm off. Uh, and then we wound up seeing Thea attacking Kiana and Izzy backstage. I'm guessing because she was feeling away about stuff. But my thing is, girl, did you not realize JC was BSing? I just want to. Were we all not prepared for this? I mean, I've been saying this from the beginning, and I know there's a certain buddy of ours um, who says she's a good friend. You know, there's a certain buddy of ours who definitely say that she's a good friend, but she not. And this was proof of that. Because you don't be saying stuff behind people's back. You better stand on what you say. And to your comment about Baron being tolerable, no, he would never be tolerable. I do not like Baron. There is nothing Baron can do that's gonna match me like, oh yay, he can be related to like Jason Momoa, and be like, ugh, and still not be happy. So we're not gonna do those shenanigans. Um, we don't do that. But I can admit that he works well with Braun, and that's all you get out of me. That's that's all you get. And I'm just saying because he's the one who says JC is a good friend. I just have to say, never. See, as I just had to say it one more time, Katrina would never be a fan of Baron, just ever. Like if I ever say that something is wrong, I'm held against my will. I'm being forced to say that. But with that being said, I do think it's a very fun match. And I do think it's a good pairing between Baron and Braun. But hopefully I feel like they got to get rid of this whole JC situation, and once they do, they can get more prepared for maybe being more serious. I feel like with the whole gambling thing and then JC being all involved, it just while they were always a fun team, I can still feel more inclined to want to root for them. And I feel like I don't know, kind of where I'm feeling right now, just because like get rid of JC, get that situated. Thea clearly was on one for months after the flag was thrown in. She's really been on one for months. But here we are. Here we are. It's just that's where we are. I believe to your question, that was Jasmine Nix, I believe, the girl that was with JC. Uh, but yeah, what were your thoughts on this match?
I was trying to look it up. But yeah, I really like this match. I feel like Chase U was doing their big one. Like they were going hard. At one point, they were tearing Baron up. And I was like, oh my God, Baron, fight back. They will beating him up. I said, Braun, come get him. Come get him. Because they're getting on him real bad. Duke has these like little moments in a match where he just has like a burst of energy and just starts, everyone's getting hit. I'm surprised he didn't start hitting the audience with how crazy he goes when he gets in those little crazy spark moments. But I love it though. Thea, you kill me. You really do. And let me tell you why. The week before, she decided that JC was so cool and all the rage. Did they not have a match? Did they not have a match where she got mad at Andre because he tried to put the ring post or the little thing cushioning back on because JC, with the intent to bust Thea's face on said turnbuckle, removed it? From that point, you decided that was your friend. You decided that was your friend. And now you're and this is the thing with Thea. She likes to blame everybody else for things going wrong. That is her favorite thing to do. She did it with Andre, and now she randomly attacked Kiana and Izzy, who were just minding their business, being bosses as they do, and attack them, blaming them when the real villain is standing right in your face and called you a loser. Wake up. It's getting ridiculous. It really is. Andre doesn't deserve this. This is sick. I just can't believe it. But Braun, Baron, I love their pairing. I love them together. Like, it's just funny to me. They have a very good chemistry. It's like really undeniable. I think it's gonna end with like definitely Baron turning on him though. I feel that way strongly.
Of course he is. It's Baron. I expect nothing less. Okay, if he doesn't, I will be surprised if they decide to swerve us that way. But it's always Baron. It's like certain people you expect, you respect to do certain things, and Baron is fine. Never happening. As Jeffrey said right after that comment, I would never. Gotta emphasize on never. And yes, Thea, this girl, listen, like, I just need her to get it together. Like, I just need her to look at herself and be like, so, it's me. I'm the problem, like Taylor said. We just got through the tag match. You're good. You know, thank you for popping back. Thank you for coming. We've been gone a little bit. We've been gone and you here, so we appreciate you. Next up, we did have a match between Uriah Connors and Shawn Spears. Personally, I don't know. I don't know why this was even hard to be fair. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why we need this in the space. And I get that he made an appearance, he's back, whatever. But I just like he pretty much made Uriah look like easy, and then he did his C4 and his really weird pin, and then he grabbed the mic and went out to talk to get Ridge Holland riled up, and then begged him to use a steel chair, but Ridge didn't. Between I felt like this wasn't even like really a match, if you would call it that. It was, if anything, it was supposed to, I guess, make Shawn Spears look strong, whatever. I don't know. I have a problem with the way he's like delivers certain things, and so I'm just like, whatever, Shawn, let's be working. And I feel like if you're gonna have him try to get Ridge to really get involved, then I guess you have to make him look strong. But still, I felt like this could have done, I don't know. And then personally, I saw this a little earlier, but I kind of do feel like, in a way, if you think about how WrestleMania 30 was with Bray Wyatt and John Cena, I felt like slight vibes from that level of goading, trying to get one person to do something. But yeah, Uriah was just he was jobbed. It's unfortunate. And I feel like his status, Finley, and Finley has definitely helped quite a few people get themselves together for wrestling, like Trish Stratus, for example. So, I mean, I'm going to assume Uriah will be in some capacity being used properly, hopefully later on. But, I don't know. It's gonna be a fight next week with him and Ridge. But I'm not. I don't know. I felt like this just wasn't necessary for this. I felt like you had two good matches to go to this, and I was just like, oh, I guess we all need that moment to get a drink of water or go to the bathroom. But did we even have time for that? Really? Not really, because it wasn't a long match at all. But what were your thoughts on this match segment?
Oh, I loved it. Listen, let me tell you why. I liked how they made him look. Like, I think they made it very clear, like, he is to be taken seriously. I like that. I loved his delivery. I know you say you didn't like it. I loved his delivery. I don't know. Something about it felt like it was giving me like this I'm already 10 steps ahead. I know everything type of like I see like it was giving me Void Styles vibes if anyone's ever seen Teen Wolf. It was giving me Void Styles when they had him in the chair tied up. The delivery was so like dark-sided. Like it's like I know more than I'm letting on. So I really, really did like it and I really did connect with it. So I'm a little bit intrigued. Definitely at the end of this though, Sean Spears needs to go over. That's it. Because Ridge, I'm gonna talk about it. But you know what Ridge did a few weeks ago, and he knows. I'm not even with you right now because you know what you did to Sir Turtleneck, Sir Goatee. You know what you did. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued by this.
With you there on our guy, But no, I don't. To be fair, I didn't care about him when he was with Sheamus either. Like I was fine with Sheamus, I was fine with Pete Dunne like together, and then they added him, and I was like, but why? They put that little Oliver Twist hat on him, and I was just like, what's I'm supposed to, I don't know. I just wasn't with it. And so to be fair, yeah, I do like dark stuff, but I'm just I don't know. Maybe because I feel like because I already know, like I know Sean Spears like his stuff long enough that I'm like it's very hard for me to be like, I mean, I guess that's what you're saying. Like, if he would have started off this way before, I might be like, all right, I might be more inclined to like it. I just feel like for me, when people start off dark, when I saw this stuff previously, it's hard for me to accept because I'm like, really? It was like, not to bring Baron back up, but like when he was supposed to go to the woods and then he came back the week after, and I was like, this is it? And I was just like, I can't accept that because what are we doing? You gotta come out like that. And then I'm more accepting of that if that's how it starts. If it just come out surprisingly like a year or two later or whatever, I'm like, I'm supposed to believe this, please. I look at my kids harder than what she was getting. Those are the vibes I'm on. But yes, Oliver Twist. Y'all know I'm talking about that hat. Like he might have been begging for food vibes. Those are the vibes. I don't care about Ridge either. So I'm with y'all on that. I don't know. And I have not forgiven because my guy died, Jack. Whatever. But I don't really care too much about Sean Spears either. So it's like, for me, we'll see. Maybe my mind will change in a week or two. But I know their match next week, I'm gonna be like, oh, well, again, that's gonna be my time to get some water, possibly. Maybe stretch a little bit, kill some time. With that being said, there was a segment where Robert Stone pretty much told Von Wagner that he would need to fight Lexis King on his own after watching Lexis King talk crap on video, I guess. And so again, I really need to know, Shawn Michaels, that why do you keep putting him on my TV screen? Do we really care about what Ron Wagner is feeling and thinking? No. And I feel like every time every time I see something else, I'm like, I really do not care at all about what I just don't care. And so I was like, I don't know what they're doing with Lexus, and I'm saying like somebody to get it together as far as what they want to do with him, because I feel like he's kind of all over the place as he's been. As much as I love his entrance, I feel like there's no core story for him, and so he's just kind of floating, like the floaters at retail during the break, Christmas breaks when it gets real crazy. Anybody who work retail know what I'm talking about. They had that one person that was the floater, and they were just everywhere in the store, not really doing much, but they were everywhere. Those are the vibes. Those are the vibes. And so I just was like, I mean, I don't care what you need to do, Ron Wagner. Just don't do it on my TV screen. Like, this can be a tweet. You can take it to Twitter and be like, Lexus, what do you mean? Get a couple of tweets off. You better look. They better go take some notes from somebody at a different company about what to do on Twitter if you're gonna get upset. Do those things and move along. I don't need to see it on my TV. I don't. And so, yeah. I mean, but here we are. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about that segment?
They got to stop with this. I've reached my limit. How many weeks has it been, actually? How many weeks has it been? It's got to stop. Now it's like, oh, I want to wrestle. You know what? I'll give Robert a chance. It's not Robert that's the problem here. For real. I think Robert will be so useful on the main roster. There's so many people I feel like need managers. I'm just saying. But Vaughn, like, I can't. I cannot. I just cannot. It's not even his in-ring is fine with me. It's just like I need a character from him. I need something to be invested in. That's it. Help me. I feel like Robert, like a few weeks ago. Help me, help you. Help me. Please.
Yeah, I don't care. At all. But whatever. Whatever we gotta do, I guess. Give him his time. That's what we get. This now brings us to our next match, which was a tag team match for the ladies with the Kabuki Warriors, with Kairi Sane and Asuka versus Tatum and Lyra Valkyria. And so, this, I thought, we did say previously we thought Lyra and Tatum was gonna be a team, and I think this is clearly where it led. And so they're a team, and I thought they looked good together. With that being said, this was a situation where I felt like some of their not being together as a team long enough, and this is showed on the fact when they team together is like sometimes you get lucky and you can get a team that throw them together and it works, but then sometimes even if the packaging looks nice, the inside is not as nice. And I felt like in this regard, because they weren't experienced working together, it showed in this match. And so that was unfortunate, which I would explain. And so, why Lyra did get a good hot tag during this, and she really put some stuff happening in a Kabuki Warrior. She even did like a Northern Lights suplex, which I think one of my favorite people to do that was Alicia Fox. I think she had such a on point Northern Lights, just on point. And so she did a really good one on Kairi, which I thought was pretty solid. And even with which I thought was good because Asuka is usually pretty good with striking, and I thought in this matchup it seemed Lyra maybe outmatched her in this regard, which surprised me. Just because Asuka is usually good with striking and kicks. That's what she was definitely known for a good chunk of in WWE, and so I was like, and it was a little she did a roundhouse combo, it was a roundhouse into a backbreaker leg drop combo, which was just absolutely on point. With that being said, during this, again, I thought there was some inexperience, but also the fact that they really probably had good communication in the match. Lyra would pretty much do a roundhouse kick to Tatum accidentally, which then allowed Kairi Sane to do her insane elbow, and they won the match and kept the titles. But after that happened, Roxanne would come out and attack Lyra. She pretty much sent her into the steel post, and then she did like a dive-in foot stomp on her arm, and Lyra had to be taken out on a stretcher. And I was like, oh, all right. And so I thought Lyra again worked very well in the ring as far as with Asuka and Kairi Sane. Agreed to the comment about them not losing the step. The Kabuki Warriors definitely did not, and it was good to see. Obviously, because I'm a fan of both of them. Not what they're going on with Bailey, but that's another time, another story for another day. Makes me sad. But I do think they worked well, and I agree. I do Tatum looked well in this too. I just feel like again when you have Kairi and Asuka who's already worked together, kind of working back together, obviously they're gonna have better chemistry in regards to communication. And so this obviously again this was I didn't think they were going to lose the belts. Let's be real. Um, I didn't think they were going to lose the belts. I would have been like Sean. I would have to literally have to be like, okay, Sean, what's happening here? Like, what are you doing? If that would happen, I didn't think they were losing it, but obviously it was mostly obviously to kind of show that Roxanne is, I guess, really losing it. And the fact that Lyra pretty much haven't really been acknowledging her. It's like, okay, I'm act crazy even more than I've been acting. And so there probably obviously will be some type of situation obviously going to happen with Lyra and Roxanne, even if Tatum may feel like she has to kind of step in just a little bit, because she's been trying to help her in the first place. But otherwise, again, this is a really good match for what we got. And, again, I do think the post match segment with Roxanne kind of doing everything is really showing that she is kind of getting pushed over the edge, which she's been slowly. Are we going to really see? Don't do that because you're going to get me in a rant. I want to do that today. Kind of threat today. What is she going to be saying? Do you all come chill? She was already being shitty, if that's what you want to call it. But yeah, I think Roxanne came in being nice and friendly, and then Steph just kind of went left. Even with her winning some of these feuds she's had after she lost the title, just things ain't going the way she wanted to go. And so I think this is where it's like leading to the little bit she will crazed right now. I mean, I don't know. I feel like she's not the person to say that when she was already acting yucky. I feel like I'm like, of course you think. I don't know. I guess people who are always like that for me, I'm like, you don't hush. That's those vibes. But we'll see. We'll see. What goes on with this coming up now with Roxanne? I do obviously think if Tatum don't step in first, before Lyra gets a chance, it's going to be clearly, it's going to be something because you can't do all that and she's champion and like, or is she going to be like dramatic, like she'll come back next week really hurt up, or is it going to be like she's ready to just, take some boots to asses, as Dwayne has said previously, boots to asses. But what are your thoughts on this match?
I liked it. I really did enjoy it. Like, I could tell, obviously, I said the same thing. Like, the Kabuki Warriors were definitely a step ahead for sure in terms of like being in unison. But I did like what I saw from Tatum. Even like she did this thing, like, and I don't see a lot of people do it. I've seen it before, but I don't see a lot of people do it. I love it. When she like did a backflip out of like a waist lock, I was like, girl, you better go ahead and get your things. Oh my God, you better go ahead and get your things. And she did this move. I saw her do this move a few times, but she doesn't do it all the time. But it's basically a move that I think she picked up from Syuri from Stardom. And girl, you better go ahead and get your things. Again, I will say it again because yes, Tatum. Like like she just keeps growing and growing. Like in my like, I'm really feeling it because I see the growth every week, and the character work. Girl, she's giving me, that Victoria Mickey mix. Like she's giving me it. I'm living for it. When she was talking about all the stuff she was going to do to the people, I said, calm down, Tatum. She has Lyra scared to death over there. And one thing about Lyra, oh my gosh, she is so talented in that ring. That girl is something serious. She is not to be played with. Like, I just can't, I have no words because I'm she blows me away every time I see her in the ring. Every time. Lyra is so talented. Like, it's crazy to me. But I feel like they're gonna try and go some type of route of if Lyra is really injured, because I mean she was saying, oh, it's out, like basically saying like her thing was out of her socket. If they try some crazy thing, and I'm saying this because I'm traumatized, because I've suffered from this, where they have Tatum, because Tatum, is very obsessed with Lyra and she wants to make sure that she fights for Lyra and does everything for Lyra, trying to defend the title for her and losing it. I don't want to see anything like that again because I'm traumatized from things that have happened to my faves with things like that. Don't do that, because I feel like that's where they're going, because we're like, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from Stand and Deliver? She's talking about her thing. It's out of the socket. Lyra, what are you talking about, girl? Stand and Deliver is in a few weeks. What you talking about? So I'm just really trying to figure out what's going on. But honestly, Roxanne, I'm kind of okay with this like distinctive turn, because she's been playing the fence a lot, and it's been kind of, I feel like, not doing favors for her character, like in a lot of people's eyes. So I'm glad that they've made it like definitive. She's a heel. She's in that era, and I love it. And I know Roxanne's gonna kill it. And if we get Lyra and Roxanne again at Stand and Deliver, and they give us the match that they gave us last time, I'm 100% fine. And I would love for Roxanne to win. I don't know. Now I'm like, dang, I kind of will be okay with it. It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, no, I do think we're probably going to get a rematch, and it's going to be a little different because she is, um, you know, she is, I guess, fully healed. And while I love AJ Lee and I appreciate the references, I think we forget there's a lot of crazy people before AJ Lee. I feel like that's the reason why I never like. I love AJ Lee, and I know that's like she loves Roxanne. I know she loves Roxanne. It's been very clear with her. But I feel like there are people who've done semi crazy, if not worse, than AJ Lee, honestly, when it comes to kind of snapping that way. Because AJ Lee, to be fair, while she was nice, you can literally, she always gave the eyes that she could be crazy a bit. And so that's never, when you have somebody who can look like they can be crazy, it's never a surprise when they go crazy. Roxanne legitimately was just really sweet as pie. And then now she's not. And I think that's a better crazy than the person's like, I don't know. She looked like she might be a little crazy anyway. Like that. And I feel like AJ Lee had already kind of mastered doing that even before she fully went crazy, character wise. And so I think that's the reason why, like, I get it, but it's also like, I don't know, like, I think it's just comparatively to the fact that she loves Roxanne and calls her daughter, or whatever. But I'm like, no, I think of like certain people, I'm like, no, they do crazy. Like, oh damn, surprise me. Those, I think that's the best kind. Of crazy, if you're gonna do this crazy in this way, to the I did crazy chicks, people say that until something happened, and then they really went, oh, well, it's too much. Like, well, you said you like crazy, so here we are. But this then leads us to a next match, which was also some more ladies action with Fallon Henley versus Blair Davenport. And so they did have a match because of what happened earlier, and what happened earlier with them in the middle of the show, so we got this match. And so this was a decent match. Rick Joseph did say on commentary quite a few times that Blair Davenport won the Iron Survivor challenge by pinning Henley. And so, it's like, okay, all right. I feel like, because we haven't gotten much from her after that. And so I thought that was smart to kind of remind people, kind of like, yeah, what the hell was Blair doing after she won? She did win. And now where is she? Again, I feel like they do this thing with Blair too, where it's like, she can wrestle. and she's good, and it's like they put her in these stories, and then the stories kind of fade, and we're like, oh, all right, I guess. And so I was kind of glad he reminded that, because I was like, yeah, she did. With that being said, though, I felt like in the beginning, Blair definitely um was a little better in the beginning of this matchup. I feel like she really was. Um, and there was a moment that Blair was trying to do a running knee strike, but she was able to duck it. And then Blair was kind of outside of the ring having the cover. With that being said, we did get a surprise return, which I was very, very, very happy to see. So Roka has made her surprise return, Miss Athletic herself, and she did a cartwheel DDT off the barricade to Blair, which again, Blair was the one responsible for all those incidents that was happening, people getting injured. Everybody know now it was definitely Blair who was doing these things, and Sol Volka was one of the victims of Blair's whatever reason she was just doing these. And so it was really good to see her, and again, her doing a cartwheel DDT just showcased exactly why Soroka is just super super athletic, and I'm glad to kind of see her back. Fallon will take advantage of this to win the match. And again, I feel like, we both agreed on this before, that she's just somebody who's really exciting to watch. And she's really athletic, and I'm sure we're gonna get a cutter soon. She's just really athletic, and it was really unfortunate that she went down when she did, because I felt like she was really getting on a roll, and then it happened. And so hopefully, she gets back in there, and it's like she never left. Because sometimes with injuries, it can be one way or the other. But again, if we're going off the story that Blair was the reason everybody was getting hurt, it would make sense that Sol Volka will once again go after her, as Nikita did before she got ultimately injured again, going after her as well, because these two, had the issue with her. But I thought they, did well. The only issue I have, I feel like, yeah, while Fallon, I guess, needed to win too, it's also weird because again, Blair did win the Iron Survivor Challenge, and I feel like I feel like every time it's a situation you're like, but Blair too. It's like Blair gets the short end of the stick. I feel every time it's like you're trying to put Blair, and you're like thinking like, well, this person needs one, but then so does she, because like where do you put her after that? And unfortunately, it's like with Blair, again, where like Fallon kind of needed one, but then Blair was the one that won the Iron Survivor Challenge, and it's like, well, what happened after that? And as said, I do think every time they give her a little bit of momentum somewhere in some capacity, she cools right back down, or they just, I don't know what's happening, but I do think they need to get it together and figure out what they're going to do with the girl. And that's like if you put her in the field with Soroka, because Soroka was gone, it would make sense to have her win as well, which means again Blair would have to lose. And so it's just, I don't know, but they got to get it together with her, because I feel like it was kind of weird for her to win that, and then we was just like, oh, all right, okay. But yeah, otherwise solid work. And again, really happy to see Sol Roka back again. What were your thoughts on this matchup?
I enjoyed the match for what it was. I definitely did. And I do agree with you about the whole thing with Blair. Like, it really is so jarring to me, because I feel like she is so talented. Like, I just don't get it. I feel like every time she does get even a little bit of a moment, it's always something overshadowing it, like on purpose, like they're having something overshadow her moment. I mean, even the most recent one with the Iron Survivor, she didn't even really get to have her moment, because seconds later, Cora Jade comes up and it's all about her. I don't like that. I really, really hate that. And I think that Blair deserves more than that. So I really hope they figure it out with her. I really, really do. And Fallon, like, what? I guess because Sol Ruka came in. I'm excited about Sol Ruka. I think she is so fun to watch. Like, literally, even just like her return. Like, hey, I'm returning. Here's a DDT off of the barricade. Like, girl, she just can't you can't walk through the door like regular. No, it got to be something ridiculous, and you got to be in the air. And I love that about Sol Ruka. I really do, actually. It's not a negative. But yeah, I definitely want to see more for Blair. I really do. But overall, I did enjoy this match.
Yeah, nope. I basically kind of we're on the same page on this. It's like, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Um, this now leads us to I guess a thing with William Regal. He challenges basically Charlie Dempsey to defend the Heritage Cup with honor. And so during this, the crowd was like, "That's your father," as they were. It was like, all right, we finally we were kind of waiting for this, as far as them kind of having some words, being that it is. And so the No Quarter Catch crew did promise to defend the Heritage Cup as a group, and they would enter the tag team eliminated tournament to, crown to hopefully be crowned the number one contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Um, and William Regal did tell Charlie that he needed to defend the Heritage Cup with honor and integrity for the sake of British wrestling. So I was like, I mean, okay, if that's the part that makes you have to make sure with honor. But Charlie didn't really, seems like he wanted to hear it. His words was, "I'll defend this cup better than you ever could." And I'm like, now, Charlie, my guy. William Regal is like, is it funny to say he needs to do it with honor when he used to use brass knuckles? It is. It is. It is. I'm like, my guy, you know, you used to make me mad. You used to take your little brass knuckles out and win a match. Pure shenanigans. You just pissed me off. With that being said, Charlie, while you're good, only one of two of you is known, and that will be real. So I just personally, me as a parent, I'm not talking me crazy. I love my kids, but I wish they would. Excuse me. Let me have to. Did I hear that correctly? Okay, let me show you that this is wrong information. So William was a little better than I would have been. To be fair, Charlie got flipped. And I know as speaking with honor, you supposed to make sure you take Charlie by the ear if you got to, and be like, first of all, who you talking to? I don't know why William just let him. I was like, I'm ring the ring, I guess. But we'll see what's gonna happen. I thought we were gonna have maybe with them kind of him managing him, but I guess that's not. And so we'll see what's gonna happen with that. But that's basically what that was. Just a moment to kind of have them kind of face off a little bit uh in the ring. And you are absolutely correct, Jeffrey. My kids know better. They know better. Like we don't. They know. I feel like as a mom of color, black mom, we just, as the joke is, you can just stare at your kids, and all is said. Those are the vibes. My mom did it to me and my siblings. She didn't say much. We just knew, like, oh, let's chill. We knew. And so my kids, they know. But I'm just saying, if they felt the audacity and gall to say this, I would have to say, okay, let's try it again. I will have to get my Google out to make sure I can say this in multiple languages. Excuse me? And I was very disappointed that William even let that slide. I was like, ooh, you better get to game, but put your foot down, William. I didn't like that. Could he have done that? Sure, but I guess William is supposed to be of integrity right now. Even if he didn't have them before, he's integrity in 2024. But I'm like, you let him talk to you like this, you're just not even dead. Not even dead. They know better. It's always like, when you see those bad kids outside, you're like, y'all better not. It better not be y'all. They know. That's all I gotta say. I wish y'all would. And that's it. Can't do anything else. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay, William, just gonna let him talk to you all crazy. He's just not gonna say nothing. Couldn't be me. But whatever, here we are. What were your thoughts on the segment?
I liked it. It was definitely, I liked it. That's what I will say. I liked it, and I mean, is William gonna be like hovering around? Like I'm wondering, is this like a one-time thing, or like are we embarking on a journey? Like I'm wondering, where is this going? Because I would love to be a little more. I feel like we've been asking for this for so long. Like I wanted them to be, like, and we're finally getting it. And I can't just have one. I need more. I don't know what it is with these guys in WWE. Not even, I don't even know if it's WWE, but like there is a serious epidemic going on with wrestlers hating their dads. What is going on? Dom, Charlie, freaking Lexus King. Okay, the first thing he said when he came up in the room was like, "Don't talk about it." I was like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" I don't know if I'm okay with it.
To be fair, if this is my dad, I would say the same thing. I'm like, you suck. Vibes. With that being said, just saying, with that being said, in regards to pulling out the chicleta or switch, I actually do not hit my kids. We don't do that. But yes, it is. And I'm gonna have to just off this quote right here. I'm gonna have to take this quote and take a picture of this. So tomorrow, I can put that comment also with the picture that somebody had with Christian with Cody Rhodes, just so I can be like, ha! Again, just one good time. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the kids just disrespecting. I don't, but it's just you just have to do a look. I feel like my black folk, sometimes the mom look, they just give you a look, and you need to chill. Those the vibes. That's all I gotta do. The look, the look. Never to that last comment. To the end. Okay, I'm gonna be old and gray, and Cody might be somewhere that I'm not, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, whack. But yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen with this. I do think William should have flipped up him, Charlie, just a little bit. Yep. So you know the look. Say a word. Your mom gave you a look, and you knew to chill. You just knew not to touch mom. You knew just but chill. Those the vibes. That's all I gotta do is just give the look. Like don't play with me. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know why William didn't just put his foot down because not me, not doing that, not talking me crazy. But yeah, we'll see. I guess what to do with this. We'll see. There was also some segments. One being that Nomdar said he planned on moving to bigger and better without metaphor, and I was like, no, let's don't do that. Like when they were helping you do stuff, you was fine. Now that you don't have it anymore. Now it's I need bigger and better. Excuse me, wouldn't be me talking me crazy. Like they need to flip them off principle because um and then Ariana Grace did agree to fight Gigi next week. But then if she lost, Ariana would treat her how to be a proper lady, whatever that means. I'm like proper as in like pageant queen proper, like proper as in like English proper. What proper are we meaning? Yeah, but see, I don't know, because I'm like this is one of those times you like I'm outnumbered, but still. I said what I said. Sometimes you gotta just take that. I might get my butt kicked, but you're not talking to me crazy. I just feel like this principle matter. So yeah, those two segments happened. What were your thoughts on what Noam had to say in this match between Ariana and Gigi?
Yeah, no, I think the Noam thing, I didn't get that he was leaving them. I think he just, I don't know, I didn't get that. I hope it's not that. I'm trying not to think like that. But it was cute, just how babying Lash was to him. It was like so wholesome and cute. In terms of the Ariana Gigi, they're two of my faves. This makes me sad. I don't like seeing my faves fight. But I think Gigi losing this would do more for her because it would give her something different. I feel like lately Gigi hasn't really had a real storyline, anything to really sink her teeth into. And she just been kind of here and there we see her, but nothing specific. I think this will be fun. It'll be different, you know. She'll be weekly learning, having to learn these things, kind of similar to the whole Fallon and Tiffany thing with her having to go on the ranch, and that was entertaining. So I think that this is something that will be necessary. Ariana doesn't have anything specifically going on, neither does Gigi. It works for me. I really do think that a lot of good will come from this. If Gigi loses, she needs to lose. It's the only time I would say I want her to lose. That sounds crazy, right? I know.
Yeah, no, I do think it could be fun to see it, but because I don't think either one of them are really doing anything, and I say this just because Juju just I feel like ever since that whole weird split thing, as I've said many times, Gigi has just been lost in the wind. She's been lost in the wind. And yeah, I'm not keep my pressure up. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hopefully we see her soon. This now leads us to our final matchup, which was Carmelo versus Tony D'Angelo. And Carmelo had some security. This is for number one spot. And so, this was it was alright. It was pretty solid, for what it was. It's solid enough. So backstage, the family named Luca Cristiano as like I'm saying the name wrong of it, but he pretty much is like backing up staff, and I guess this will be like sending a warning to Dragunov. I was like, I'm gonna calm that down. But anyway, this match was pretty solid for what it was. There was some awesome moments. One being that Carmelo Security kind of caught him at ringside, when Tony knocked him off the apron and kind of helped him safely to the floor. And I was like, I would like to be, if the wind blows me down the block, security be like, Katrina, wait, and put me back down safely because wind sometimes be doing too much. Sometimes. But this was, I thought Carmelo seemed like he was on a good roll. He was doing his stuff until Trick Williams' music hit. And while he did that, this allowed Tony to hit a single arm power bomb and forget about it to win and become the new number one contender. Afterward, Tony did say he set up the entrance music purposely to distract, but then said he had a surprise for Carmelo and the music hit again, and this time Trick was there and he took out Carmelo, and then and the security, and then Carmelo would like run to the back. And so, obviously this is leading to what we was all saying, with between Carmelo and Trick. I do think it was cool to see like Tony use his power advantage, I guess if you want to call it that. But I would say, with that being said, because we all felt that was going to be Carmelo and Trick towards Stand and Deliver, it just makes sense. They're going to need some time to build this story between Tony and Dragunov, Ilja Dragunov, and this would be the perfect time, I guess, to kind of build towards that, to make sure everything looks good for Stand and Deliver, obviously. But I do think, obviously, for me personally, we're gonna get a really good match between Trick and Carmelo, which is what we've been thought was gonna happen for weeks or months. So that made sense to have Tony win this, because you got to finally have Carmelo kind of deal with what he was doing for Trick. But that was the last match. What were your thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, I enjoyed the match. I don't think it was like a crazy, oh my god, I have to go back to watch this 15 years from now match, but it was a fun match though. I don't know, like, I mean, I had a feeling, I felt like Trick was gonna show up, but I still felt like Carmelo would win somehow. But then again, it's like we've already had Carmelo and Dragunov so many times on PLEs. But Tony D, I don't see him beating Dragunov. I just don't see it. Um, so I'm just like, oh, okay. So we're just getting a fun match for Dragunov, you know, just show up and get it done match because I just don't see Tony winning. I don't know. I just don't know. Like and I like Tony. It's not even that I don't like him. I just like I don't know. For some reason it's just not connecting for me. But am I opposed to it? No, especially with the addition of Luca Crucifino. So, and he really made a fan out of me last week, just with like how that whole situation went. Like he has a lot of fire in him, and I found that really intriguing. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I really don't. It seems like they're really bulking up the family, like So I'm like, it seems like there's a shift in the water here. But then I'm like, where does that leave Dragunov? So I'm just lost. I have a lot of lost things. And then we have the grudge match with Carmelo and Trick. We already know that's going to be fire. We all knew that was going to happen. Oh, this is something.
Yeah, no, I think as of right now, it looks like Stand and Deliver is gonna be something good. I think there's really shaping up to be something really solid, and definitely looking forward to it. But that is the end of our NXT show. But before we get into the end pleasantries, we wanted to definitely shout out the guys over at BodySlamNet who will have a new show called Game Changer Weekly, a GCW podcast. If you are a GCW fan, definitely go check that out after this show. I believe 11:30 Eastern time or wherever. Just add the hours where we are in the currently time zone wise, but 11:30 Eastern time. This will be coming on. And so definitely go check out the guys over there for the Game Changer weekly podcast. To be awesome. But again, that is the end. Thank you guys as always for watching us. Shay, tell the audience where they can find you and what they got going on.
Well, you can find me at Shay Sawyer Was Here. I'm mostly on that account. I try to be on another one, but I stay on Shay Sawyer Was Here for some reason. That's on Instagram. You can also find me at Shay Sawyer _ on Twitter. I just had a new episode for my podcast, the Big Pop Theory podcast, that dropped yesterday, and it's available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple. So definitely listen to that. And you can also catch me on Saturday for Unpopular Review for the Collision After Show review. I don't know who I'm hosting with. I'll be there though.
As for me, you can catch me on most social media and Cat We Trust, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. E is a three. Um, I do have some new interviews on my channel. Check that out. I have some new ones coming up. And if you are in the Jersey area on Saturday, I will be doing backstage correspondence for Titan Championship Wrestling, which should be super awesome. It's gonna be a long day. But if you're in the area, definitely come and say hi. Uh, thanks, Heidi Ho and Jeffrey, as always. Well, all of you, but you guys are the ones who said the last really sweet comments. And so we appreciate you guys as always. You know, nice. Um, to that um last comment. But yeah, as always, we really truly appreciate you guys for hanging out with us and for coming back specifically after we were gone for a little bit. We appreciate you guys always for your love and support, and we will catch you guys